Hello friends and my dear students, I welcome you all to my channel. I hope you're all well and your studies are also going on well. This is part 5 on the chapter of linear equations in two variables. This is a continuation from the part 4 where I will be discussing about the last 5 key points about the graph of a linear equation. graph of a linear equation. If you have not watched the part 4, I strongly suggest that you please watch that video to have all the concepts that I discussed, the first 9 concepts that I discussed in that video. So this video is part of the playlist CBSE Maths for class 9 following the textbook of author RD Sharma. If you find this video beneficial, then please like it, share it with your friends, and please subscribe to my channel and support me, and do not forget to press the bell icon so that you will be notified by my future videos. Okay, so in the previous video, I discussed up to the first 9 points regarding the graph of a linear equation in two variables. Okay, so the point 10 says that if we have the linear equation ax plus by plus c equals to 0, if we have this linear equation that ax plus by plus c equals to 0, then what will be the area of the triangle that is formed by the graph of this equation and the x-axis and the y-axis. So, so let's say let's visualize the triangle. This is the Cartesian plane. This is the y-axis. This is the x-axis. The graph or line of a straight line ax plus by plus c equals to 0, where I am assuming a is not equals to 0, a, b and c all are not equals to 0. Then in general, the straight line will look like something like this. Now there are 4 possibilities how the straight line can look, but let's say let's consider the straight line is this PQ. Now it could be something like this. It could also be let's not discuss about the other orientation of the line or graph of this straight line ax plus by plus c. The concept is that depending on the constants a, b and c, the straight line of the line of the equation will intersect the x-axis and y-axis either on the positive side or on the negative side. In this example, I am assuming that the straight line or the graph of the given linear equation is intersecting the y-axis and the x-axis on the positive side. That is, let's say the line PQ is intersecting the x-axis at the point what is happening at the point C, which you can see is on the right hand side of the y-axis, means that it is on the positive side of the x-axis, and the coordinate of the point C will be, as I discussed in some previous points, it will be, how will I find the coordinate of the point of intersection of the line with the x-axis. So any point on the x-axis, the ordinate, that is the y coordinate, will be 0. So I will, in the linear equation I will put y equals to 0 and solve for x, and I will have minus c by a. The value of x will be minus c by a. So the coordinate of the point C will be minus c by a comma 0. Similarly, let's say the line intersects the y-axis on the positive side of the y-axis, meaning above the x-axis at the point, let's say B. So what will be the coordinate of this point B? Any point, so B is a point on the lying on the y-axis. Any point on the y-axis has has coordinate where the x coordinate or the abscissa will be 0. It will be 0. So now in the equation of the line or graph, I will put x equals to 0 and solve for y, and I will get the value of y as minus c by b. So this will be the ordinate of the point B will be minus C by B. Minus C by B. Now, what is the triangle? The triangle, what is the triangle that is formed by the line of the equation, the y-axis and the x-axis? It is the triangle OBC. OBC is the triangle that is formed by the line PQ, which is the graph of the given linear equation ax plus by plus c equals to 0 and the y-axis and the x-axis. So what will be the area? Area of this triangle ABC, triangle AOB, angle OBC will be half into altitude we can consider as OB and base we can consider as OC. Now what is OB? What is OB? That is the length of what is OB. You can see B from the coordinate of the point B, we can easily find what will be OB. OB will be C by B, even though you can see a negative of C by B, but the point B could be, it can be on the above the x-axis or it can be below the x-axis. If it is above the x-axis, then the ordinate of the point B will be positive, and if the point B is below the x-axis, the ordinate will be negative. irrespective of whether it is positive or negative, the length of OB will be mod of C by mod of the y coordinate of the point B. So basically we can say yes, it will be mod of C by B, mod of C by B. And what is OC? OC is the, we can see OC is minus C by A. OC is the distance of the point C from the y-axis, which is equal to minus C by A. So then the length of OC will be mod of C by A. So this is, you can see this will be half. Now mod of C multiplied by mod of C is C square, but below we have mod of A multiplied by mod of B multiplied by mod of A. This is equal to half C square divided by, we can say, mod of AB. This is equal to C square divided by twice C square by 2 multiplied by mod of AB. So this will be the area of the triangle that is formed by the graph of the equation ax plus by plus c equals to 0 and the y-axis and the x-axis. Remember that the equation in the equation ax plus by plus c equals to 0, all a, b and c must be non-zero. Should be non-zero. Now any other line, if you are given a straight line, if you are given an equation where any one of a, b, c is 0, then no triangle, then the graph or the line of that equation will not form any triangle with the y-axis or x-axis. So in that case, so to find the area of a triangle formed by the line or graph of a given equation with the y-axis and x-axis, it must be the case that the constants a, b and c of the linear equation must be non-zero. Okay, let's see the next point. The point on the graph of the equation ax plus by plus c equals to 0 having x1 as abscissa has coordinates x1 comma and minus negative of c plus a x1 by b. The question is, if you are given the equation linear equation into variables, and if you are asked that there is a point lying on the graph of the equation whose abscissa is x1, then what will be its ordinate? The concept is very similar, very simple. I have this Cartesian plane, y-axis and x-axis. Let's say this is a straight line in general. This is the line or the graph. Let's say the line is PQ of the given equation ax plus by plus c equals to 0. The question is, there is a point A on the line or graph on this line PQ, which is the line or graph of the given linear equation, and the and the axis of this point A is given to be x1. What will be ordinate of the point A? What will be ordinate of the point A? I have to find, let's say, if the ordinate is y1, if the if the ordinate is y1, what will be y1? So nothing. So I know that the ordered pair x1 comma y1 will be a root of the equation. So it must satisfy the equation. I have to find y1. So I know I must have ax1 plus by1 plus c equals to 0. From here I have to find y1. So clearly y1 will be negative of ax1 plus c divided by b. This is the concept. The next point is similar to 11, but we are so there is an equation ax plus by plus c equals to 0, and the question is if there is a point on the graph of this equation whose ordinate is y1, then what will be the abscissa? So nothing. I mean, the concept is same. So I have to find. So if I consider a to be the point on the line of the given linear equation, then I have to find x1. y1 is given. So it is very similar. From the it will satisfy the point. Since the point A is lying on the graph of the given linear equation, which is ax plus by plus c equals to 0, the ordered pair x1 comma y1 should satisfy the equation of the line. So I must have, similarly as I discussed in the point 11, ax1 plus by1 plus c equals to 0. We must have this. From here I just have to find x1. So x1 will be equal to negative of by1 plus c whole divided by a. Okay, let's see the next point. Coordinates of all points on the x-axis are of the form a comma 0, where a is any real number. So if you have this is a very fundamental concept. I don't think there is any need to explain, but still. So we have this Cartesian plane, we have the y-axis, we have the x-axis. Any point, it could be anywhere to the right hand side of the y or to the left hand side, to the right hand side of the y-axis or to the left hand side of the y-axis. Now when I say to the right hand side of the y-axis, it also means towards the positive side of the x-axis, and when I say to the left hand side of the y-axis, it also means towards the negative side of the x-axis. So let's say clearly if A is a point on the x-axis, let's say towards the positive side of the x-axis, then the distance of this point from the x-axis will be 0, which means the ordinate will always be 0. Ordinate of the point A will be 0. Now the abscissa of the point A can be anything depending on what is the distance of the point A from the y-axis. So the distance of the point A from the y-axis in this case is, if considering A to be a positive, is A. A is the distance of the point A from the y-axis. Now depending on where the point A lies on the x-axis, A will change. So A can have any value, any real constant. Okay, point 14 is very similar to the point 13. The concept is that coordinates of all points on the y-axis are of the form 0 comma b, where b is any real number. So if this is the y-axis and x-axis, now if I take any point, I am considering just for the sake of discussion a point P on the y-axis. Now what will be the abscissa of any point P on the y-axis? any point P on the y-axis is this distance of any point P from the lying on the y-axis from the y-axis will obviously be 0, and that is the abscissa. What is the abscissa? What will be the abscissa of the point P, where the point P is lying on the y-axis? It will be the distance of the point P from the y-axis, which is 0. So 0, comma. Now the ordinate will depend on the distance of the point P from the x-axis. If it is above the x-axis, the ordinate, so the ordinate could be anything B, where B is a real number. Now if B will be positive if the point P is lying above the x-axis, and B will be any real number negative if the point P is lying below the x-axis. Depending on where the P is, depending on the distance of the point P from the x-axis, B will change, and B can have any value, any real value. So so the coordinate of any point lying on the y-axis is always of the form 0, B. The last point is, this is also very important. So what is the equation of the line of the x-axis and y-axis? X-axis and y-axis, they are also straight lines, and they are the reference line in the Cartesian plane. So what are their equation? The equation of the x-axis is y equals to 0, and the equation of the y-axis is x equals to 0. Why? Because y equals to 0 is the equation of the x-axis. Now remember that any point on the x-axis, its distance from the x-axis will be 0. Now if you have any point on the Cartesian plane, let's say A is any point on the Cartesian plane whose coordinate is alpha, beta. Because beta is known as the ordinate of the point A, alpha is known as the abscissa of the point A. Abscissa is also sometimes called x coordinate, and beta is also called y coordinate. So y coordinate and ordinate are same, x coordinate, abscissa are same. Now what is beta actually? What is alpha actually? Alpha is the distance of the point A from the y-axis. This is alpha. And what is beta? Beta is the distance of the point A from the x-axis. This is beta. This is how the coordinate of the point A is defined. Okay. Now any point lying on the x-axis, definitely the distance of that point from the x-axis will be 0, which means beta will be 0. Which means beta will be 0. Any point C, ordinate will be 0. And as I said in the previous points, the x abscissa or the x coordinate could be anything depending on where the point C is lying on the x-axis. That is, depending on the distance of the point C from the y-axis. So since so in this case we can see y is always 0. Y is always 0. So that is why the equation of the x-axis, the equation of the line x-axis is y equals to 0. Similarly, on similar logic, the equation of the y-axis is x equals to 0, because if you consider any point on the y-axis, the coordinate of that point, the abscissa will be always 0. The abscissa will be always 0. That's why x equals to 0 is the equation of the y-axis. So these are all the key points about the graph of a linear equation. That is how a linear equation and two variables and its graph or line on the graph is related, and that any point on a line, the coordinate of any point on a line is basically a root of the equation of the line, and vice versa. That is, if Any root of a linear equation in two variables will be a point on the graph of the equation. And of course, what are the equation of the x-axis, y-axis, what is the form of any point on the x-axis, what is the form of the coordinates of any point on the x-axis, what is the coordinate what is the form of the coordinates of any point on the x-axis and y-axis. All these concepts, all these 15 concepts are very essential. You must understand them. You must understand them clearly to solve the problems, and also from a given linear equation in two variables x and y, how you will draw the line. You just need to figure out 2 points from the equation and you will join those 2 points. So with this, it comes to an end in the discussion of all the key points and formulas related to graph of a linear equation in two variables. If this video was beneficial, then please like it, share it with your friends, and once again, please support me by subscribing to my channel, and do not forget to press the bell icon so that you will be notified by my future videos. In the next 2 or 3 videos, I will solve a lot of problems based on the concept of graph of a linear equation in two variables. I am ending the video here. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, take care and bye.